You know, right now, it is fair to say from an objective point of view that the most important story going on, possibly in the last 5, 6, 7 years in the industry, is the imminent takeover of Warner Brothers by somebody. It looks like it's going to be Netflix, but Paramount has also been stomping their feet like impotent little children and making a fuss and whatever without actually making their bid any better. But they are still in the race. We've been careful to cautious everybody. Remember, Paramount is still in this. They can do a lot of things. They can up their offer. They can offer more money. They're still in this. It's not over till it's over. Well, according to a new report here, Warner Brothers is now contemplating reopening talks with Paramount. Bloomberg News is reporting. Now, remember, in theory, the bidding war is over. Warner Brothers chose Netflix. They chose Netflix's bid. But legally speaking, until the dotted line is signed, everything is still open. Now, there is a clause put in, I think it's for $5 billion, that when they accepted Netflix's offer, Warner Brothers made a commitment that if for whatever reason they walk away from the Netflix deal, they got to pay Netflix. Again, I might be missing the number, but I think it's $5 billion. They got to pay Netflix for nothing. Just here, sorry for the misunderstanding. Here's $5 billion. I would love that. Anyway, but Paramount's continued to raise a stink, and it's caused some of the Warner Brothers shareholders, a small minority of them, less than 7%. But it has caused some Warner Brothers shareholders to recently bring up, hey, maybe we're not giving Paramount a fair shot. And remember, the board of Warner Brothers has a fiduciary responsibility, legal responsibility, to make sure they get the absolute best deal they can for their shareholders. And some shareholders, again, less than 7%, but still, some shareholders are going, I don't think we're giving Paramount a fair shake. So this story comes out that Warner Brothers, and by the way, it's not saying that they are reopening negotiations with Paramount. It says they're considering it. This comes out from Reuters, who writes, Warner Brothers Discovery is considering reopening sales talks with rival Hollywood studio Paramount Skydance after receiving its hostile suitor's most recent amended offer, Bloomberg News reported on Sunday, citing people with knowledge of the matter. Members of the Warner Brothers board are discussing whether Paramount could offer a path to a superior deal, the Bloomberg report said, adding that the board has not decided how to respond and may just stick with the current Netflix deal. Okay. So basically, some of the board of Warner Brothers saying, hey, maybe we do need to relook at Paramount, but maybe we don't. So what's going on here? I'll tell you what's going on. Nobody's told me this, but I feel 100% confident in this. Unless Paramount radically improves their offer, which they have not done yet, they literally have not actually sweetened their offer at all. They've moved some chess pieces around the board, but ultimately they've just been moving milk from cup A into cup B, and they really haven't done anything. Unless Paramount makes a significant improvement to their offer, which they have not yet done, but they still could do in the future, Warner Brothers has no intention at all of ending their deal with Netflix and going with Paramount. So what's this all about? I'll tell you what this is about. This is Warner Brothers covering their asses legally. This is Warner Brothers setting it up so that if there's any fuss, if there's any commotion later, they can honestly go to their board, they can honestly go to their shareholders, they can honestly go in front of any government oversight committee and say, we did due diligence. We went back to the table. We heard new offers from them. They weren't willing to move anymore, but it cannot be said that we didn't give them a fair shake. Mm-hmm. They are simply doing this, I'm telling you, so they can have a complete defense against any disgruntled shareholders and have a great defense against any regulatory board.
They don't want Ancora coming after them.
Yeah, they don't want any of their own shareholders coming after them, right? Because we've seen that can be an issue. We saw that with the Disney Fox takeover a few years ago, where some disgruntled Fox shareholders were kind of upset by the deal. Mm-hmm. Now that all got settled and taken care of. But that's exactly what Warner Brothers is doing here. Now, look, that does not mean that this is over. Paramount still could come. I don't think they're going to do it because they're leveraged to the tits. But Paramount could still come back and say, okay, fine. 15 billion more. Or fine, 20 billion more. Or whatever. They still could do that, at which point Warner Brothers would go, okay, that's interesting. Let's talk about that. In which case, Netflix. This is exactly what happened with Fox and Disney when Comcast stuck their nose into it and forced Disney to keep
and
up
for
in
no
their
other
bid.
reason than to troll for billions more. They're like, oh, we're interested.
Comcast never intended to get Fox. They just wanted to make Disney pay $40 billion more than they originally planned on it.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, it could happen that Paramount could come along and say, yeah, we're going to offer another $10 billion, whatever. And Paramount could look over at Ted Sarandos and say, Ted, he's offering another $10 billion. To which Ted would go, fine, we'll up our bid by $10 billion more, whatever. So whatever. But again, at the end of the day, in the absence of a significant raise in their bid, Warner Brothers has no intention of going with Paramount, nor should they. Their entire bid is a house of cards built on leveraged debt, foreign money, and a guaranteed note from a guy whose personal wealth has declined by $60 billion in the last 3 months. So that's what I think is happening here. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Factor. Cold days, packed schedules, and let's be honest, when February hits, staying on track with eating well gets tough. And that's why I love Factor. Factor makes eating healthy deliciously easy with fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs so you can eat well without the planning, shopping, or cooking. One of my main go-to meals lately is their high protein options. You're getting quality functional ingredients like lean proteins, colorful vegetables, whole foods, and healthy fats. Plus, they have over 100 rotating weekly meals, including Calorie Smart, Mediterranean, GLP-1 support, ready-to-eat salads, and even their new Muscle Pro collection for strength and recovery. Everything arrives fresh, never frozen, and is ready in about 2 minutes. All that and more is why I highly recommend Factor. Head to factormeals.com/Campea50off and use the code Campea50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan. One free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. Rob, it ain't over. Paramount could come back with a bigger bid at some point. But until they do, I still think this is a non-issue. You read this report. What are you taking away from it?
Well, there's people are saying it's inevitable that now that Paramount might get Warner Brothers because the government won't allow Netflix and Warner Brothers to combine.
They won't be able to stop it.
Yeah, I would say this. I would say, look, my question is, this weekend, what was the #1 movie? It was Wuthering Heights.
Yeah.
From who? From Warner Brothers. You had yet another movie, another example of the Pam Abdi, Mike DeLuca strategy of hiring exciting filmmakers to make auteurist-driven projects. That movie clocked in $80 million this weekend worldwide.
Worldwide, not domestic.
Yeah, domestic is 40, but worldwide still. Whether you like the movie or not,
still a good opening for a romance.
And so you have a studio, it's working. I don't have the shareholders should also take into account who's going to best utilize the company that we're shareholders of, who's going to increase the value once you own it. And I would say the current stewards of the studio are cooking with gas. They had a great 2025. They're coming out guns blazing 2026 with this is just but one. Their streak began in April last year when they had the seven #1 movies opening in a row. Now we're in only February, and they have the #1 movie in town again based on the strategy.
And it was based at like over 40 million opening, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? So again,
another #1 movie with
no,
40.
actually, technically it opened to like 32 or 36 million, but yeah, so it didn't open to over 40.
But for the whole weekend?
Yeah, which remember, for the case of the record, it only counts for a traditional 3-day weekend.
Right.
And its 3-day weekend opening.
Oh, because Monday brought
32 million. Yeah.
Over 40.
34
point.
Yeah, because it's holiday. Well, either way, not bad. And I'm thinking, if I was a shareholder at Warner Brothers, I would think, well, who's going to take us deeper into the 21st century? Who is going to be better stewards of this studio? And I would say the people that are running Warner Brothers right now are doing a heck of a job. And so they should continue to do so. By the way, shout out to the UK division of Warner Home Video for that great Ben-Hur box set that's coming out in March. Woohoo!
By the way, looking at the box office mojo right now, you can bring this up here. Wuthering Heights, yes, its official opening weekend number was 34.8.
Because Monday was 5.2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't count Monday because other weekends don't get to count Monday.
Right.
So there you
And
go.
it's a 4-day weekend because today's a holiday. But still, not bad. And I would like to see, Warner Brothers continue on and be as strong as they possibly can.
You know what? I still believe this. I think by the end of this year, we are not going to see Paramount owning Warner Brothers. I still really believe at some point in the very near future, the Ellisons are going to pivot, and they're going to go and get NBC Universal from Comcast.
You think they can
Comcast
afford
has-
Comcast, though?
Yeah.
At this
Well,
point?
no, they can't buy Comcast.
Okay.
But Comcast has made overtures suggesting they're kind of interested in letting NBC Universal go. And if they do, I see that as a much more prime target
see.
for
Yeah.
Paramount
Maybe.
guidance.
I would just like to see Paramount become a great studio again
Yeah,
and
I
make
agree.
great
Nice.
movies and TV shows. Enough of wasting your time. I mean, your 2026 slate, Paramount, pretty damn anemic.
You got to get a MIPCA hat. Make Paramount great again.
Yeah, well,
MIPCA.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? The reports in the industry right now is that Warner Brothers is open to maybe going back to the negotiating table with Paramount to see what they have to offer. I think it's just to cover their butts. I really do. Unless Paramount suddenly re-ups a significant amount to their offer, which I don't think they're going to do. I think by the end of the year, they're going to end up owning NBC Universal and buy them off of Comcast. But I don't know. Who knows? It's still all up in the air. Whatever you guys think about this, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.